welcome back to the final whistle then for the Premier League predictions. Week 2, as we head into the weekend games then. Leicester heading to the Cottage this weekend to take on Fulham. Manchester City take on newly promoted Ipswich Town. Southampton, they host Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. I wonder which two sides are going to make European football again this season, as both will have an eye on Arsenal, of course, the league, and Villa, of course, they'll want to rekindle Champions League football again. Liverpool take on Brentford, Brighton take on United. A lot of games to cover, a lot of predictions to get through. I'm going to be joined by Martin shortly. And yeah, welcome to the channel, everyone. Hope everyone is well. If you can, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed to the Final Whistle, please get down and do so. It would help me out massively. Let's have a look at some of the comments before we get Martin in. Hello, Jack. Hello, Leicester till I die. How are you, mate? How are you, Jack? I'm all right, thank you. Hello, Jack. Arsenal away tickets sold out. Do you know anywhere I can buy a ticket? I don't, mate. Sorry. Terence, how are you, my friend? I will see you on Saturday. Callum, hello, how are you? When are Leicester City going to announce Jordan Ayew then from Crystal Palace will be announced before the Fulham game on Saturday? Yeah, I think it'll be announced tomorrow morning, probably, to be fair. Obviously, Jordan Ayew joining Leicester for £8 million, 5 million plus £3 million add-ons, medical done today. So yeah, Jordan Ayew will be a Fox at some point. Hello, Jake. How are you? Good evening. Hopefully, Leicester can get a good result. Yes. Dave, how are you, mate? Hope you're good. And that is it. Let's get my guest in. Football, Martin. Martin, how are you, mate?
Jack, I'm very well, thank you, mate. I like the backdrop. Looks really good.
Fine, yeah, worked on that, Martin. I thought last week we were a bit too plain for us, Martin. I thought I'd better work on a bit of it this week and make it a bit more presentable.
No, it looks really good. Looks really good. Good to be here, mate.
Yeah, fantastic. Martin, let everybody know where they can find you, mate, and what you do at Football, Martin.
Yeah, I have a rapidly growing YouTube channel at the moment. Some of you are tuning in because it's been streamed across on my YouTube platform as well at Football Martin. I like to think myself as the ultimate fan hub for all things Southampton, Premier League survival as well. I'll be focusing on that throughout the season. If you're a Saints fan or you're not, you're just a football fan, please do go hit a subscribe on my channel as well. Give me a follow. You will be blessed with loads of great content throughout the season as well. I've got so many things coming your way, so make sure you give me a follow.
Yeah, fantastic. Go over and check out Martin's channel. Martin, let's see how we did in week 1 then. Obviously, I've tallied up the points. You did get one correct result last week, which is, I guess that's good music to your ears. Let's get them up. The latest scores, I got 16 points last week. You got 19, Martin, 3 points ahead in the predictions.
Nice.
Very interesting. I'm just wondering what's going on with my face and Martin's like me. Yeah, just keeping it simple.
I'll take a special photo for you at some stage.
I got that one when you was on Sky Sports.
Cheers, mate.
No, Martin, let's chat about week 1. Where do we start first? We'll start with Man United. Left it late to beat Fulham. Obviously, we expected a more high-scoring game. It only ended up with a 1-goal result. Fulham did do quite well against Man United, didn't they? They kept Man United out for so long, and then the debutant scored for Man United very late on.
Yeah, everything bar scored, didn't they, Fulham? I thought they put a good account for themselves, really. Pretty well established Premier League side now, really, but I just think Ten Hag's under so much pressure anyway. They had to win the game, didn't they, really? It was important to get the 3 points on the board. And they did that, and their season's up and running. And it eases the pressure on him for another week.
Yeah, Ten Hag, the one when someone asked you last week who would be the first Premier League manager sacked, you did say Eric Ten Hag. Did well to lose only 1-0 to Newcastle, Martin. We'll get on to
Mm.
Southampton shortly, but talk to me about Ipswich versus Liverpool. I mean, Ipswich did very well. I mean, a big um, confidence in Jacob Greaves in his first Premier League game for
Mm.
Ipswich Town. I mean, high sort of vocalism regarding his performance. Ipswich did very well first half, didn't they, Martin? They really started to play well, and then Liverpool kind of found Ipswich out in the second half, and they went and took the game by storm from that point onwards.
Yeah, I was travelling to Newcastle, so I didn't see loads of it. To be fair, I was kind of arriving in Newcastle as this game was going on. I've watched the highlights back, so I've had a look back at it. The Ipswich done well from what everyone said. They had a really good first half, but Liverpool, they're such a good side, aren't they? 18 shots at goal compared to the 7 of Ipswich. They just got that quality. Keep possession of the ball so well, don't they? They had long spells of the ball, 63% possession compared to 37. So when you look at the statistics, it looks like it was all Liverpool, but it wasn't necessarily the case. I thought you spoke about Greaves at the back. I think he's a really good signing for them. I think he's a great bit of business. I really do. Super impressive in the Championship, and he'll take the step to the Premier League. No worries at all. But Mohamed Salah's unbelievable, isn't he? He's if anyone did well in fantasy football this weekend in the fantasy Premier League, he was the man for the points, wasn't he? Because I think he had a whopping week. Obviously scored and put a man of the match displaying for them. So yeah, he was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, Slot did say in his post-match interview he had to change a few things at half time.
Mm,
Because he felt that it wasn't working in the first half for Liverpool, and
mm,
obviously Mo Salah, big influence on that Liverpool team. He'll probably be up there again this season with the whole top goal scorer and that. I think he's on his last year at Liverpool, Mo Salah. So
mm,
I don't know where he's going to end up next summer.
mm,
Will he extend at Liverpool? Will he maybe take a big money move elsewhere? Or if Liverpool can tie him down to a contract and sell him for money, or they just let him go on a free? But yeah,
mm.
Salah in amongst it with Liverpool then last weekend. Arsenal versus Wolves, that ended up 2-0. Arsenal starting off really well. Kai Havertz in with the goals with that one, Martin. Yeah, Arsenal started really where they left off last season when they started the Premier League. A real one to watch for the potential title push again this season.
Yeah, I think they'll be right there, thereabouts. To be fair, now there are a lot of people's favourites to win the league. Yeah, they like you say, they picked up where they left off. I think they got a brilliant manager and Mikel Arteta. I really like him. I think he's done a brilliant job there. But yeah, it was a big win for them at home as well. Always helps, and your first game being at home and against a side that they should be beating as well. Really, no disrespect to Wolves, but it was a game that you would have been relishing that one as an Arsenal fan. But Saka in with a goal as well. I think he's just a dream player. He's in my dream team. I think he's just outstanding. Such a good player. Great start for them, and onwards and upwards for Arsenal. They'll be there, Jack. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they'll push Man City to the end. Terence is asked, let's get Martin's thoughts on Jordan Ayew, Jack, as a neutral. What's your thoughts on Jordan Ayew? Obviously, Leicester today have agreed an £8 million fee
Yeah.
with Crystal Palace. That obviously includes
Mm.
£3 million add-ons, with a £5 million initial fee. He's got quite a lot of Premier League experience, hasn't he, Jordan Ayew at Crystal Palace? He's
Yeah.
not your ideal goal scorer, is he, when you talk about goals for Palace? He's a man who, like I say, wears his heart on his sleeve and he gives 100%. And Palace fans, some
Mm.
would be sad to see him go. But what's your
Yeah.
thoughts on Jordan Ayew, Martin, as a neutral?
Not a player I'd be massively excited about if we went and signed him tomorrow,
Mm.
to be honest. Yeah, I think he'd do a job. Like you say, he's been around the Premier League. He's been at Palace for a while, so he knows what it takes to play at this level. Is he going to get the goals that you need and you desire? Probably not. I think you've got the man in Vardy to do that. It's whether you can get enough out of Vardy this season and keep him fit. I actually thought that Vardy played really well the other night. Second half, he does what he needs to do. Fox in the box, isn't he? But yeah, he back him up, and that's what you're probably going to need. Is he going to be a squad player? Do you think? Probably, most likely.
Yeah, he's not a striker, is he? He's more of a winger slash
Play off the flank.
sort of like down the middle sort of player. He's not a striker. Obviously, it does show within his stats, doesn't it? 30 odd goals and 200 odd appearances for Crystal Palace. Some would say he's a workhorse. You know,
Mm.
he really likes to give 100% for the team, and I think that's what Leicester need. You
That's why
know,
they brought him in.
he's been about this league for many of years now, Jordan Ayers. He knows what the league's like and how to stay up in the league. And yeah, it's Nick, how are you, mate? Hope you're good. Someone's asked you, Martin, about Aaron Ramsdale. Any news on
Yeah.
Ramsdale coming to Southampton?
Well, there was an exclusive by Sky Sports News around an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago. One of their reporters, Lowell Thomas, tweeted that Southampton are now preparing a loan bid for Arsenal's Aaron Ramsdale. I was under the understanding as well all summer long that they weren't, that Gavin Bazunu was always going to be the number one in the long term, and they wanted to bring someone in for for this season, really, with a bit of experience. I think he fits the bill. I think fitted the bill all summer long, really, for me. I think if there's anybody I would have had through the door, it would be him. They were speaking to the final goalkeeper, supposedly. I just think they've got other plates turning at this moment in time, and I think they've maybe used the fact that they were going to bring someone else in just to push the hand of maybe Arsenal. Or I thought it was going to be Brighton and Jadon still, but Aaron Ramsdale coming in. Obviously, they've got to table an offer and try and get it over the line. Problem is, we're like second game of the season at the weekend. The goalkeepers, Alex McCarthy's already made one blunder and cost us a point. I hope he doesn't do the same again this weekend because we're getting deep into the window now. There's not long left. So they're going to have to do this really quickly. But if it's coming from Sky Sports News and the source is decent, I think there's a good chance that they will table an offer. There's no guarantees it's going to get accepted, though, is it? That's the big thing.
That's the main thing. Obviously, good goalkeeper in Ramsdale, but it just hasn't worked out for him at Arsenal since they brought in. Is it Raya? Is it the
David
Arsenal
Raya.
keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's brilliant, David Raya, isn't he? He's really, really good goalkeeper, good at his feet. And there's no doubt that Ramsdale's not going to displace him this season. I think for Ramsdale, he needs to go and reunite his England career, really. Nick Pope's fit again and playing football. And if he wants to keep himself in that England squad, he's gonna have to start playing football, whether that's at Southampton or Wolves or wherever he ends up. He needs to play football, and that's what he'd be looking about as a professional. There's nothing worse being the age that he's at and an England international not playing football. So I think he would have been pretty disappointed after signing that contract at Arsenal for then to have another goalkeeper brought in like that. It would be he'd be pretty disappointed, I would think. So yeah, I think it'd be great business for Southampton if they can get this done. It'd be the difference between staying up and going down potentially.
Yep. Guys, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to both channels, subscribe to Football Martin, subscribe to the Final Whistle. Two great channels. You know, one follows Leicester, one follows Southampton. If you're a Southampton fan, then Martin has the right channel for you, where he covers all the things Southampton. But get involved as always. We are going to get on to the Premier League predictions very shortly. We're going to touch on some other results. Jack says, "How are you, Martin?"
I'm great. Yeah, I'm good. It'd be even better if we saw Aaron Ramsdale. Absolutely, Jack. I'll be in a terrific mood going into the weekend.
Fantastic. Let's touch on a few results, Martin. Everton 0, Brighton 3. I mean, Everton are going to be down there this season on the Martin. I don't think you question about it. They've been down there the last few years now, battling the relegation battle. But a real poor start by Everton, a 3-0 defeat to Brighton and Hove Albion at the weekend.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by it. I was surprised by the goals that I saw there. I only saw the highlights, and I heard that Everton were well in the game, but from the highlights, it looked like it was all Brighton and Brighton dominated. Brighton are a good side. I still think that a lot of people written them off this season, think they're going to struggle, but in actual fact, I think it'd be Everton that be the ones that really struggle. I see them being right in the mire. They've been lucky to stay up for a few seasons now. Final year at Goodison, so it's massive for them. Really, they're going to need to stay in because it's always hard moving stadiums, as we both found out. It's not nice moving stadium, is it? Yeah, I think Everton are going to struggle. I think I've pipped them to go down. So and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Lose Calvert Lewin, and it'd be a massive blow for them.
Newcastle 1, Southampton 0. Obviously, you wasn't really sure about getting anything at St James's Park. That
No,
proved the case. Obviously, the red card.
yeah,
Talk to me about that. I mean,
mm,
it's a bit of handbags in it between Shaw and Berriton Diaz, and it's you know more, the referee gave a red card for a supposed headbutt.
mm.
But what was your thoughts on it, Martin? Have you looked back on it? I mean,
Yeah.
what did you make of the red card? Was it a red?
No, it's pathetic, really. All of it, all in all, it infuriated the Newcastle fans like
Yeah.
unbelievably. I thought actually in the game, I was chatting about it in another show earlier with a Forest fan because he played Forest at the weekend, and actually, in fact, Southampton 11v11 absolutely outplayed Newcastle. They were brilliant for the first 30 minutes. I think with 11v11, it would have been a far open game. The issue was that Newcastle got men behind the ball once he was
Mm,
sent off, Fabian Schär, that he put his head in his face. If you go in like that, it's going to
it's a
result
red
probably in a
card.
red card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not ideal. The issue was that Brereton Diaz that he made an absolute meal of it. But the media have really enjoyed this story this week because the likes of Talksport and other outlets, it's given them something to talk about and bash a small team for a bit. Look, he's not gained himself any friends, Ben Brereton Diaz, but the Southampton fans really like him. He looks a good player for us. But unfortunately, getting hit with the sending off, it really affected him as a player because he took so much abuse. I think we took him off with about 70 minute mark, but he was never
Mm,
really in the game after the sending off Ben Brereton Diaz. But Southampton made a really good account of themselves, let down by the goalkeeper, unfortunately, who misplaced a pass. And you get punished in the Premier League. You know, the likes of Alexander Isaac, they're alert all the time. They don't switch off these top professionals, and yeah, it was as Nick Knack says, it was probably be a yellow. It was just nonsense all round. Really, it just didn't look great at all. Really, but yeah, just happy with the performance, not the result because we should have walked out of there with a point. Really, we just got done by the goalkeeper.
yeah, Joe Linton ended up scoring, didn't he, for Newcastle? Obviously, Southampton did have quite a lot of the ball, didn't they, Martin? Did they have
Yeah.
chances in the game? They can't say they didn't.
Mm,
The performance in itself, you could say were good to take into the next
mm,
game. Ross
yeah.
says defo red. If your heads collide, it's a red. End of story. Yeah, I think Fabian Schär was quite wound up, wasn't he, from Barrington Diaz's push? That what is your thoughts on the signing of? Is that the keeper, Martin?
Potentially, Bill. Is it Barlojo? I don't know how we pronounce it. I've got no idea,
Bigelow.
but I don't think he's going to come. Bichelo. Don't think he's coming anyway. I don't think he's coming anyway. But it looks like they're preparing a bid for Aaron Ramsdale anyway. I don't know. I think he's probably a target potentially. I don't think he's a top of the list by any. Well, I know he's not top of the list. He's not top of the list. I think there's two names on that that are they're really keen on Jason Steele, Aaron Ramsdale. They probably prefer someone that's played in the Premier League. To be quite honest, I think that they need a Premier League proven goalkeeper right now. Um, that's what I would do if I was on the board and I was a manager.
Yeah, looking at other results, Forest won, Bournemouth won. I think that were a fair result in the end. West Ham won, Villa 2. John Duran, I think he did really well in that game, to be fair. I mean, West Ham, you've seen the likes of Fulkrug, Somerville, and that, who came on for West Ham. Aston Villa, they look sharp again in that game, to be fair.
Yeah,
I
they're going to
think
be good,
they
Villa.
deserve the win overall.
Yeah, they're a good side, Villa. Really good side. I think they're going to be tops. Obviously, got European football to come just yet, and that's going to make it that little bit harder. But yeah, they good start. Very good start for them.
Yep. Let's have a look at the last three. Brentford 2, Palace 1. Obviously, still the uncertainty on the future of Ivan Tony Martin, who didn't feature at all in that game. He's had, I think it's bid from Saudi Arabia. Obviously, there's nothing close as of yet. He's but to be believed. Not the result what Palace would have wanted with after how they ended things last season. Chelsea,
Mm.
Enzo Maresca versus Pep Guardiola. Erling Haaland again proving his worth again with how pivotal and critical he is in front of goal. And then you look at the game at the King Power Stadium, Martin. Everyone writing Leicester off to lose, and then Leicester second half performance fantastic. To be fair, Jamie Vardy in with the goals again.
Mm.
Leicester second half I thought really well. I thought we were really good in the duels and everything like that. First half, dominant from Tottenham, to be honest. It could have been 2 or 3 for Spurs, to be fair, if they took the chances. But yeah, I'm happy with the result. It was one that I went with last week on the predictions. I said a 2-2 draw, but I had a feeling we'd sneak a point out of it. And I think it's a very strong result for Leicester to kick off the season, Martin.
Yeah, no, I thought they played really well second half, Jack. I thought it was a really good performance. I thought early stages Spurs were always going to dominate the game, but you've got to take your chances, Jack. Leicester did that when it come along. There was no surprise that Vardy scored. I quite enjoyed the celebration. It would have wound a few of the Spurs fans. He was pointing to the Premier League badge, giving it the one title that he won, and I thought it was brilliant from him. But yeah, fair play to Vardy. He just keeps going. Can of Red Bull in the tunnel as he's walking out as well. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. What a guy he is. Hated by many, but loved by the faithful at the KP.
Yeah, Alex Jansen says, "Isn't it about time Vardy retires? Vardy's not finished. If you've still got it, you've still got it. You don't need to retire." He's still banging in the goals. So why does the Vardy need to retire? The guy proves people wrong time and time again. People who write him off and say he's finished, he always has an answer for. And he's Leicester's number 9, and he's proving pivotal again for the Foxes. He's that real big experienced player in the squad. He's been through everything with Leicester, and yeah, what a career Jamie Vardy's had, Martin.
Yeah, he's had a brilliant career, isn't he? And just to keep going like he's going as well. And he actually looks in really good shape. He obviously really looks after himself. He must put so much time and effort, not just from a training point of view. It's what you put in your body because there's no doubt as you get older, your metabolism slows down, doesn't it? But he must eat well and sleep well and just really look after his body. And it must get tiring and draining because to keep doing it season in, season out. If there's anyone that's going to look back on his career and say, well, I've maxed it out, it will be him because he's done magnificent, Jack. He really has.
Yeah, let's get on to game week 2 of the predictions. Guys, as always, get involved. Let me know your predictions as we go through each of game week 2's games. And we'll start at the Amex. Brighton versus Man United. Both sides won in game week 1. Obviously, Brighton, they'll look to make their home form count this season under their new manager. Man United, yeah, they always seem to find that Brighton's a tough place to go, don't they, for teams? And yeah, Brighton and Man United does offer quite a few goals when these two sides meet at the Amex over previous seasons. How do you see this one going, mine, between Brighton and Man U?
Do you know what I think? I think Brighton come out on top. I really do. They were really good against Man United last year. I think they beat them. Brighton did. I didn't watch loads of Premier League last season. I'll be honest because I watched the Championship religiously, but I fancy Brighton to win it. I think they started really, really well. Far bigger test than playing Everton, but I think they get a job done here. I want to go with a 2-1 win to Brighton and Hove Albion, Jack.
I'm gonna go for I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. I think it will end up in a draw, these two sides. I think it'll be a real scrappy game between these two. It's obviously a dinner time kickoff, isn't it? So it's who's going to turn up, which is the main one. So yeah, I'm going to go with Brighton 2, Man United 2. Next one, Martin, Crystal Palace West Ham. I think last time West Ham went to Crystal Palace, didn't he sort of get a hammer in last season?
Yeah, I think they did. I like Palace though, Joe. I think Palace are a decent side. Obviously, West Ham got beaten on opening day at home. They played a very good Aston Villa side though, didn't they? Going to put a draw down, Jack, though, between these two. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Score draw in London for me.
Yeah, I think these two sides, looking at them, it's always one of them in it where obviously Joachim Anderson's gone. What's going to happen to Gueye? Could he be on the move this season? Yeah, I think it's going to be a real battling game between the two. Palace didn't really start off well the way they'd hoped. West Ham, neither. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 to West Ham. I'm going to go the other way.
West
Let's
Ham
see
to
what
get off
everyone.
the mark.
Yeah, I think West Ham will get off the mark. Let's see what everyone else is saying. 3-2. 1-0 Brighton, 1-0 West Ham, 3-1 Palace, 1-1, 2-1 Palace, 3-2. Palace to nick it 2-1, West Ham to nick it 2-1. Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 0. Next one, we're going to go to Craven Cottage as Leicester head to West London. Fulham versus Leicester. Leicester starting off better of the two sides at the start of the season. Fulham losing 1-0 at their first game. Leicester getting a draw. Something the Foxes can really go and build on in this game. Timothy Castagna against his former club. Deco Dover-Reid goes back to Fulham for the first time since signing for Leicester. So 2 players against their former sides. Who do you see going on top in this one, Martin, between Fulham and Leicester?
I think it'd be a tight game, to be fair, Jack. I think it'd be a tight game. Never an easy place to go, the Craven Cottage. A stadium I really want to go to. I guess you'll be going. I've never been to Craven Cottage, one of the Premier League grounds I've not been to, but I do want to visit there this season, especially with the Premier League pricing on away day tickets. As an away fan's not bad, so it gives you that opportunity to go there and not spend an absolute fortune on it. I think I'm going to go with the draw, Jack, on this one. I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going to go. This is going to go my second draw of the day. I'm going to go with a 1-1 though, mate, with this one. What have you thought of Reid so far? Decora Reid, was he decent the other night? Did you think you were in the ground? You watched it.
I thought first half he struggled to really get into the game. Second half he was far better with
Yeah.
the link up play and that with Vardy and Buonanotte. Harry Winks and that linked up well to get Jamie Vardy in on goal for the second chance, which he obviously missed. But it'd been a well worked move if he'd finished off the chance. I think this one will be a battling game with Leicester. Obviously, the likes of Traore are going to try and get our defence on the Alex Iwobi, Emil Smith-Rowe. They've got real key players in this game, Fulham, and I think this is the type of game where Leicester will like to play. And if we can take our second half performance into the Fulham game, I think we could really go and nick something in this game. I'm going to go both teams to score, and I'm going to go 2-1 to the Foxes and away win.
Mate, away win would be nice, wouldn't it? You'd be a happy man if that would come off, mate.
I'm going to go with Jamie Vardy to score and Deco Dover-Reid. Fulham to lose 1-0, 2-0 Leicester, 2-0, 5-1 Leicester. Bloody hell. 4-3. That'd be an interesting game. Fulham 2, Leicester 2. Bloody hell. Someone's gone 10-0. That's going to take some going if that happens. But next one, we're going to the Etihad, Manchester City, taking on Ipswich Town. The champions Man City take on newly promoted Ipswich, and this is a real tough game for Ipswich. It's a tough start for Ipswich. Liverpool at home one week, and then Manchester City away in the back-to-back. I mean, how tough of a game is this one for Ipswich, Martin?
Really tough, mate. They've been busy in the transfer window, haven't they? Looks like Amanda Broja. I don't know if that's gone through yet, but they're going to sign Broja from Chelsea. There's also talk of Jack Clark going there as well. What a transfer window they've had. He's got his hands full fitting everyone in, that's for sure. But I think they get beaten up there. I think they have way too much. I think it's a newly promoted side going there. I don't think it'd be a 3 or 4-0. I'm just going to go with a 2-0 victory to City. I think they win it. They've already started decently. They look good, didn't they, City, on opening day against Chelsea? They're a top side. Haaland's in my dream team as well, wearing the captain's armband. Never know, might play the triple captain in this one because it could be worth a few extra points.
Yeah, this one's going to be a real tough game. Manchester City will really want to get at Ipswich in this game, and not many newly promoted sides have gone to Manchester City and won, have they? Yeah, this is a game where I think Man City are going to be really dominant in this game. To be fair, Erling Haaland, I've triple captained him for the FPL, so hopefully he gets me quite a few points. Yeah, I think it just go one-way traffic in this one for me, Martin. I think Man City really dominate from start to finish, and I can see Haaland getting in amongst the goals again. Some's gone 9-0 City, some's gone 4-3-0. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Manchester City win. I'm going to back Man City in this one. I tell you what, we'll go in Erling Haaland hat-trick. But I don't think Ipswich could be too disgruntled if they did lose against Man City, a real top side, and that. I think it's one that they're not expected to win, but if they could pull it out of the bag, that'd be a big surprise for the weekend. But you never know in football. But yeah, I think Man City win, and yeah, I think Ipswich have got some winnable games after that. So yeah, 3-0 me. Southampton Forest. Obviously, last time these two met, Martin, in the Premier League, Forest won 1-0. An absolute dire game, some would say. Talk to me about this one.
It was a terrible game. I remember it well. It was just after Christmas, January time. Nathan Jones was the manager. Wet midweek game. We were absolutely dreadful. Probably one of the worst games I've ever seen at St Mary's. We were absolutely shocking that night. But I've got an interesting stat going into this one. Since moving from the Dow to St Mary's in 2001, Southampton have struggled in their opening Premier League home games. So home opening league Premier League games. They've only had one victory out of a possible 16 so far since that move to St Mary's. That lone win came back in 2004. It was a 3-2 victory over Blackburn and Rovers. Saints have failed to win any of their last 11 Premier League first home games of a season. So Southampton are going to have to be right at it. I think statistics can go out the window. I just think Southampton will have to play like they did against Newcastle at the weekend. Similar sort of performance. Yeah, we've made a couple of signings since then. He's had a week to settle in. Cameron Archer, he's a Saint now. We also signed a couple of more players actually, Jack, in the last week as well. It's been quite a busy week. Another two come in. We've had the young lad from Chelsea come in, the midfielder, which has an interesting surname, Tikawu, if I pronounce it correctly. He's come in. Supposed to be a very good midfielder. They say that he's outstanding, so he could potentially make a start as well. And we've brought in a Portuguese midfielder as well, Fernandez. So be interested to see if either of those feature at the weekend. But I think it'd be pretty much a similar start in 11 to what we had up at Newcastle. And I think it'd be hard to get a victory against them. Chris Wood's got a good record against us as well, always causes a load of issues, but I'm not convinced we'll win it easily. A lot of Southampton fans think we'll win it. I think it's a game we've got to win, personally. I don't think it's a game we can really afford to lose. So I'll take a draw. I went on another show today, and I went with a 2-2 draw, and I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I think it'd be a good game. Two sides will have a go at each other. I definitely think that Forest will press Southampton, and I think they're pressed them early on as well, because they would have seen how much Newcastle set off Southampton last weekend, because they didn't really go after Southampton like I expected Newcastle to at St James's Park. I thought Southampton had a lot of freedom to play there. I'm not convinced that this lot will give us the freedom to play like we did last weekend. But it'd be a good game, Jack. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think these two sides are going to be down there this season, aren't they, in this relegation battle? This is one that Southampton have got to go and make home advantage count, in my opinion. Both sides will look for the first win of the season. I think it'd be an end-to-end game, this one. It'd be a real tight, knitted game between the two. I tell you what, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for another draw.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on the
It's got
fence a
draw written
bit.
all over it, really, this one. It has got draw
Yeah.
written all over it. There's no doubt about it. It's got a draw written all over it. I just don't. I It's opening, home games. It can just be a little bit edgy. We're looking for our first goal, looking for our first win. It's a big ask, and fans are restless, aren't they? You just got to stick with the team. It's early on in the season. Just give it a bit of patience, and Saints will be fine. Saints will be fine. They just need to stick with the team and get Aaron Ramsdale in the door and have a massive chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. Next one, Spurs v Everton. Spurs will look to get to winning ways at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend. They take on Everton, who have just come off a 3-0 defeat to Brighton. Another tough game for Everton, this one, Martin. How do you see them getting on against Spurs? Do you fancy Solanke to go and open his Spurs account in this one?
Yeah, I do. He's in my dream team, Solanke. I thought he'd done all right the other night against Leicester. Look, he'd be desperate for his first goal. To do that at the weekend would be nice. I just see Dave put 4-0 in to Spurs, and that was the first thing that came to my head as well, Dave. I'm going to go 4-0. I think they cause all sorts of problems to Everton. I really do. So, yeah, 4-0 Spurs for me, Jack.
Yeah, I think it'd be a dominant Spurs performance, in my opinion. If they get out first off from Leicester into the game against Everton, I think they'll have no problem, to be honest. The quality's there in it. James Maddison, Son, Solanke, players like that who can really change a game for Spurs. And I'm going to go 3-0 to Tottenham. Next one, Villa v Arsenal, the Unai Emery derby, if that's what you want to call it. It was quite a close game last season at Villa Park when these two sides played each other. Like I say, Arsenal will look to really get 3 points in this game to really push on and hope they can really push with Man City for the title. Aston Villa, they'll have an eye on Europe again this season. I think they'll be in and around there again for me, Villa. But Arsenal's a tough game, but I think Villa will give it their all in the game. I think there'll be quite a few goals in this one for me. I'm going to go 2-1, a tight game for me, this one. 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I'm actually going to go with Villa and go against the grain because I don't always do it.
Interesting.
I think, home advantage potentially. I'm going to go reverse score, same score but reversed. So I'm going to go 2-1, but to Aston Villa in this one. I think a Saturday night under the lights as well is always a nice game to play. It's much better than that earlier kickoff.
Yeah. Done Leeds yet? No, because Leeds ain't in the Premier League to talk about, mate. You must wait for the Championship predictions if you want to talk about Leeds United. This is Premier League football. No, banter aside. AFC Bournemouth v Newcastle. I think this one was quite a tight fixture last year. Newcastle started off well, didn't they? I think they'll be missing Fabian Schär for this game with a red card. Bournemouth, got a point against Nottingham Forest very late on. Bournemouth at home, though, I think they'll do all right this season at home. I think that'll be where the fortress will be for Bournemouth if they can pick up quite a lot of points up at home. Newcastle, tough opponents, though. Isaac, he's a fantastic player on his day. They'll look to count on Joe Linton and that to get in around the box and that for this game. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Geordies.
Yeah, I wasn't. Do you know what? I thought they were going to be really good against us. I thought, they'd absolutely batter us. We wouldn't stand a hope in house chance against them. I thought they were really poor. They'll have to be a lot better to beat Bournemouth. I'm actually going to go with a Bournemouth victory in this one, Jack. I'm not convinced that Newcastle will go there and win. Got to come south, bit of a trek. They'll be flying down, which is always a beautiful thing as a Premier League club, isn't it? I think that Bournemouth will win it, though. I think they've got a brilliant manager in Areola. I think I spoke about him last week on the show. They said tactically he was really good last week at Nottingham Forest. The Forest fan that I spoke to today when I was doing a pre-match preview, he said they were really good second half. He said we're really lucky to get what they got out of the game. He said probably a fair result. He said, but they come on really strong, Bournemouth at the end. Tactically, he's spot on, though.
Yeah, Dave's battering you, result Martin. Alex has gone 6-3 Arsenal, 2-1
Yeah.
Newcastle, 3-0.
Mm.
Arthur's gone and told Terry to go and watch EastEnders.
Mm.
Um, moving on from football to the soap
Mm.
operas. But no, moving on to Wolves v Chelsea. Enzo Maresca. I mean, Raheem Sterling's been told he can leave. They're looking at getting rid of Ben Chilwell as well. There
Mm.
was a comment made in the media in the week about Enzo where they said, you've got about 42 players. He said, yeah, I only want 21 of them. The other 21 can go and train elsewhere and maybe we can move them on. But he did say, while they're Chelsea players, they're still at Chelsea, then we'll see what happens. But yeah, they didn't start off well, did they, against Manchester City? I mean, they did all right against Man City in the performance, but yeah, I just don't think some of the Chelsea fans are excited about this style of football at the minute because some felt really unrestless against Man City. But Wolves, on the other hand, they can really pick up points against the big sides at home. Can't the Martins you've seen over the years? Gary O'Neill, I think he's a great manager. I think he'll look to outthink Enzo Maresca in this one. Chelsea will look to get to winning ways. But I think this one will be a close game between the two. I'm going to go 2-1 Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, I'm backing you on that. I'm going 2-1 as well. I think they win it, Wolves. I really do. I'm not convinced by Chelsea. There's just so much transition there, so many players. I think that manager's got his hands full there, big time. I think he's got a really tough job. I'm really well, obviously money speaks, but for me, I just think Wolves are a bit of togetherness. I think they've got a manager that's been around. He'd know how to beat them. I really fancy Wolves in this. I'm going to go 2-1, Jack. Backing you on this one.
Yeah, that's one of my surprise results. Callum's gone 3-1 Chelsea, Renee's gone 3-1 Wolves. Yeah, Wolves always seem to turn up against the big clubs. They did against Liverpool last season. I thought they were fantastic against Liverpool. I mean, they caused Liverpool all sorts of problems, but Liverpool managed to pick them off.
Mm,
But I think for Wolves in them type of games, they've got to be a side who's got to take the chances when it matters. If they don't, then they get punished, and that's the
mm.
Premier League for you. Next one, Liverpool versus Brentford. Um, Liverpool coming off a 2-0 win. Brentford coming off a 2-1 win against Palace. The uncertainty is in the air regarding Ivan Toney with his future. I think it'd be a big blow if Ivan Toney was to leave Brentford this transfer window. I think they'd really struggle for
I do.
goals. To be fair, Martin, but I think Liverpool really come on strong in this game, and I think Mo Salah and Jota and that and co will really want to make a point to on a slot that we can play the style of football and we can be very effective in wanting to go and get European football again this season. So I fancy
Mm,
Liverpool to really go strong in this game. I'm going to go
mm.
3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, I think I want to. I don't know. It's a tough one for me. Just thinking which way it's going to go. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool in this one. I'm not sure they're going to be that free scoring, but yeah, 2-0 2 weeks in a row. Salah with a double for me. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
correct there. Nick's
Nick's right. Yeah.
yeah, he's correct. He's correct. He did get. He's just starting to settle things down, Pochettino. It takes him a little while, and he settled them down, and they go and make a change, which is just that's typical of them.
4-0 Liverpool. 3-2. That'd be interesting. It's all depending on Ivan Toney, innit? Because Ivan Toney is where Brentford's goals come in. It is a striker. He's their main asset.
Mm,
But it's getting the right money for him as well, in it, Martin, if they are to move him on. But then it's replacing him as well is going to be the issue with the amount of days that are left in the window. But Brentford have got a very decent side, but I think they'll be in the
mm,
bottom half of the table this season. I think Thomas Frank's a very good coach. He's done well with what he's had at Brentford, with the funds available and that. But I just think Liverpool are too strong, but I think they'll give it a good go. Dusan, what you saying, mate? 4-1 to the Scousers, 3-0 Liverpool. And Simon says 4-2. Interesting. Martin, thanks for coming on, mate. Really
You're welcome,
appreciate
my
it.
friend. It's been a pleasure.
But before I let you go, let everybody know what you do at Football Martin and where they can find you, pal.
Yeah, go give me a follow over on YouTube. If you subscribe to my channel, it'd be much appreciative. Yeah, it's growing fast. Loads of Premier League content, Southampton content predominantly, but I'll be doing all sorts of bits as the season goes as well. If you're visiting St Mary's or I'm coming to a game that you're going to be at, I'm looking to get as many fans on my channel as well. My fan-led channel like to get content from the fans, so check me out if you're down at St Mary's.
Appreciate that, Martin. Take care,
Cheers,
mate.
Jack.
All the best.
Thank you.
That was Football Martin. Great guest as always. Let's see if I could beat Martin in the results this week. I'm 3 points behind, but hopefully I can catch Martin up. Thanks for watching. As always, Foxes and Saints to stay up. Guys, if you've enjoyed this stream, hit the like button. It's really much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and please subscribe to the Final Whistle. It would help me out massively. And what's coming up at the Final Whistle then? So go and check out yesterday's show. Jordan Ayew, we spoke about, and we spoke about Santiago Gimenez interest. Go and check that out. Obviously, Leicester City have agreed a deal with Crystal Palace for Jordan Ayew in the region of £8 million, 5 initial and 3 add-ons. But yeah, go and check out the Leicester City news from yesterday. Tomorrow I will be live again, so come and join me for that. We've got the match preview, Fulham versus Leicester, as Deco Dover-Reid goes back to the cottage as he takes on former side Fulham as Leicester head to West London. Then I'll be chatting with Russ from Cottage Talk to look ahead to the game. But no, thank you for watching. As always, really appreciate it. Take care, Jack. Thank you. Thank you. But no, take care, everyone. Keep it a Final Whistle, and I'll see you again in the next one. Hi all, thank you for watching the Final Whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.